Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another podcast episode. This is episode number 4, I believe, and this is going to be a really good one. So, it's about setting goals in business and life. So, if you want to achieve anything, you're going to have to set goals. I'm sure you guys have heard it over and over again, and it's definitely something that I struggle with to focus on is setting goals. I know what I'm doing and I just do it. I know what I'm supposed to do. I just do it. But goals are perfect for when it gets hard, when the discipline's not there, when you need that extra motivation. That's when you think back to your goals, your long-term goals, your short-term goals. And that's also how you can track progress and see if you're getting closer to achieving what you want, or if you have maybe strayed the path, or maybe you need to change your goals and update them. Whether that's short-term or long-term. So it's a great tracking method, and it's a great method to stay motivated during tough times. So we're going to be going over how you can set your goals and a couple different issues, difference between long-term goals, short-term goals. We're going to be covering goals. By the end of this, you should be able to set goals that are extremely specific, extremely clarifying, and that have deadlines that you can actually track. So let's just jump right into it. So, some of the challenges that people have when they set goals, or some of the mistakes, I should say, that they make when they set goals, is they lack clarity. So they may say that they may set a goal to get in shape, right? You probably hear that one all the time, especially now. It's almost the new year. So people are going to be setting goals to get in shape next year. But you can't track that. You can't track any progress. You can't track a time limit. You can't track what is in shape. And that's why so many people fall off, because they might get a little in a little bit better shape, and then they end up falling right off. So you gotta make sure that there's complete clarity, so you can actually see when you achieve that goal, right? So if you say I want to lose 10 pounds, you could track that. You could know, all right, I lost 10 pounds, I hit that goal. Or if you want to say you want to, certain body mass index or a certain fat percentage, you could see that stuff and you could track that. So you need to be extremely clear on your goal. Another challenge people face is the fear of failure. They're afraid of failing, and in that case, they don't even try. Partially because they probably don't believe that they could even do it. So they think failure is inevitable, and they're never going to achieve the goal that they want, which is obviously very incorrect. I mean, people have achieved goals, huge goals that people didn't even think were possible. Think about the 4-minute mile. No one thought a 4-minute mile was possible. No one achieved it. Then once one person did it, people believed that it was actually possible. So they all just started hitting a 4-minute mile. So the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, I think, of other people, the lack of belief, it all kind of goes hand in hand. Also with feeling overwhelmed. So another one, people feel overwhelmed when trying to achieve their goals. Partially might be lack of belief, but another problem with that is that they set goals that are just not going to happen. So they could say that they want to make, $10,000 a month with their new business in 6 months. It's not going to happen. They need to lengthen the time scale. So if you want to hit $10,000 a month, that's a good goal, but you have to be realistic, because you have to make your first sale, right? Then you have to make 3 sales in a month. Then you have to make $3,000 in a month, and then $5,000 in a month. So to just think you're making 0 right now, you haven't even had your first sale in a business, and you want to make $10,000 in 6 months. It's just not, it's possible. It's definitely possible, but it's not a good goal to set, because they're not, there's no clarity there, and they're just not thinking it through, right? In a year, it's a little more likely, right? But you have to break it down. So we're going to get into that with the short-term goals soon. Well, just knocked my mic over. And another thing is time management. People don't know how to manage their time, so they may set a goal that it's not going to happen because they haven't managed their time. They haven't, again, broke it down into a time scale where after 1 month you need this, after 2 months you need this. All right, so after 1 month, if you're trying to get to this certain spot, that means you need to achieve this every week, which means every day you need to do this certain thing. And then obviously break down the day. Well, if you have no time in a day because you're hanging out and you're working and you're doing other stuff, well, then how are you going to achieve that in a month? And then if you can't achieve that in a month, you're not going to get that in 6 months. And then in a year, you're not going to be able to achieve your goal. So time management is another thing. So lack of clarity, fear of failure, time management, and being overwhelmed. Those are 4 big challenges. And we could throw in there the lack of belief. So you have to believe in yourself. So what are long-term goals and what are short-term goals? We talked a little bit about it, breaking it down into 1 week, into 1 day, into, the hours in a day. So a long-term goal, people would say a year is a long-term goal. I think a year is actually a short-term goal. And that's what I mean when I say people need to lengthen their timeline. If you think a year is a long-term goal, then you're not even thinking 5 years or 10 years. And that's going to make you actually give up. So if you start a business, right, and you say a long-term goal of mine is to hit 10K in a year. By the end of 1 year, you want to be at 10K a month. Then when you're 3 or 4 months in and you haven't even made a sale, you're probably going to give up. But if you say in 10 years, I want to be making $20,000 a month, then in 3 months you don't have a sale. You still have over 9 years to achieve that goal. So you need to lengthen your timeline. You need to look at long-term goals as 5 to 10 years. You need to look at short-term goals in 1 year. 1 year goes by fast. So I just started a job a year ago, and it's been 11 months now. And this year has just flown by. And I haven't made huge progress in terms of business because I just recently started about 4 or 5 months ago this new business in AI, but how quick it's gone is actually just baffles me. So 1 year is very short, right? Then you're going to want to break it down into 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, and then even shorter. A week, 2 weeks. Those aren't really output goals. Those should be more input goals. So you say, for the next month, I want to do 50 outreaches a day. And then you do that. That should be a goal. It shouldn't be in the next month, I want to make $5,000, right? You could also say, I want to make my first sale, and then break down, well, to make my first sale in 1 month, I need to do 10 outreaches a day or 100 outreaches a day, So there's also a difference between input and output and setting those types of goals. So long-term goals, 5-10 years, it's probably going to be output. You're going to say, I want to be getting this right now or getting this in 10 years. Whereas a week or a month, you're going to say, I want to do this for the next month. So that's kind of the different. And then there's also medium-term goals, which people don't really talk about, which is kind of in between the short and long. So short, I would say, is 1 year. I don't know if 2 years is really short-term. I would say that's more medium-term, right? And 5 years is long-term, but 3 years isn't long-term or short-term, so it's medium. So medium-term is 2 to 5. So short-term is monthly to a year. Medium, 2 years to 5 years. And then long-term is 5 years to 10 years. So again, you want to use your long-term goals and your medium-term goals and break them down into short-term goals. That is how you set that up. So I hope you're taking notes. Right now, write down your long-term goals, pause the video, and then break them down into 1 year, and then break them down into 6 months, and then 1 month. And then you need to explain to yourself how you're going to get there. Now, a huge thing you need to do, right? If you're doing the short term and long term, well enough, then you should be good with this. But you have to make sure you add deadlines, because the saying is a goal without a deadline is just a dream. If you want to say I want to make $10,000 a month and you don't add a deadline, you don't say in 10 years or in 5 years, then you're not going to do what you have to do. You're not going to track it, and you're not going to do what you have to do to get there. So add a deadline. It's very simple. Just add a deadline. It stops procrastination. It actually puts a fire under you that you know you need to achieve something by this date. Now, how do we actually get to the goals? Well, once you break them down, as we said before, to 1 week or to 1 day or to the hours in your day, you're going to have to create habits. So, by doing the same thing over consistently every single day, you're going to build habits, and that is how you are going to make macro changes in your life. With micro actions, you make macro changes. You just need time to be on your side. So put enough time of habits, right? They'll get you to your goal. They have to be congruent with your goal. You have to have good habits, and you can clearly see whether your current habits are getting you there or they're not. If you're waking up late, if you're hanging out all the time, if you're going out, if you're watching TV or playing video games or smoking weed, then you can't expect to achieve something that you're not working on. If your habits are waking up early, you get work done, then maybe you go to work, you come back, you work out, you do more work, you go to sleep, and you repeat that, then it's only a matter of time until you start actually seeing the compound effect. After a year or 2 years, you're going to see how much more you know. And you have to also be aware that there's something called invisible progress. So you could be making progress without any results, because we're going to get to this later. You have to build yourself first. You have to build your knowledge. You have to build your skills. And that is all going to be there, but you're going to have nothing to show for it. And it's only when you put in a year to 1 to 2 years where you actually start seeing this stuff. And this is a game changer. This is going to motivate you to the next level and really help you to keep pushing forward and to actually start seeing results, not in the outward way, but results within yourself, of seeing the skills that you're building and the progress that you're making, even though it's not there to other people, and it won't be there to you for a while. But keep at it a year or two, and you'll get there. So, here's a little cheat code for you guys. If you are having trouble moving the needle towards your goals, because you're having trouble staying disciplined or staying motivated, you're, like we just said, you're not doing your work, you're not getting up early, you're hanging out, you're playing video games, find someone that has similar goals to you and find an accountability partner. So this is one of the game changers in terms of actually, well, being accountable, but I want to explain it more, that when someone else is watching over you and you're watching someone else, there's a burden of performance on it. So you could get away with lying to yourself, which you shouldn't. You should be accountable by yourself. But especially when you're building the habits in the beginning, I know it's tough. So when you actually have someone to report to and you know you need to get X, Y, and Z done because you guys are reporting every night and then you didn't get it done, and they're going to tell you that they got theirs done, and then you're going to be like, oh, well, I didn't do it today. It's kind of a shame that you'll feel. So accountability partners are great. And if you're actually looking for people on the same mission as you, first link in the description, you can join my Discord community. I have a lot of cool stuff planned. It just got recently started. So it's gonna be huge. It's for AI automation agency owners, along with other entrepreneurs. It's mainly prioritized as AI. But if you have another business, maybe you could use AI, or maybe other owners of businesses can use your services. So it's great for networking, finding people, being in a community of people around that are trying to achieve the same things as you. So first link in the description, go check it out. But accountability partners, and you guys have like some friendly competition. So, if they start surpassing you like crazy, you're going to try to work harder to catch up. So it's good. Discuss your goals, discuss how you're getting there, discuss your work ethic, things like that. It's great. It's great. We're not doing numbers actually. All right, another one. This is going to be tools that you can be using. So here's one tool. This thing is great. It's a timer, if you can't tell. And it's a physical timer, so you don't have to do it on your phone. So you can leave your phone in another room so you could get your work done. And it's there just to kind of keep you on track in your deep work sessions. So I just had this is a 90-minute timer. I'm now at 29 minutes, so I have half hour left of my deep work, and then I'll take a little bit of a break. But that's great to keep you on track, to make sure you're getting your deep work in, and make sure you're actually moving the needle. Another one is Notion. So it's notion.so. If you're not using Notion, you have to be using Notion. Notion is great. I used to really underutilize it, and as I started using it more and more, because I heard from different people that how great it is, it really is. You could use it as like a Google Docs. You could use it as to-do lists, ideas. Like, there's just so much stuff on there that you can use for productivity, for your work, for achieving goals, for, ideas. Like, it's great. Use Notion. And then the Eisenhower Matrix is another great one. So basically 4 quadrants. You could Google it right now if you don't know what it is. But it's 4 quadrants, and then there's important, unimportant, urgent, not urgent. So obviously not important and not urgent, you can just eliminate, and then what's important and urgent you have to do first, and then what's important and not urgent you have to do second. And that is great for actually knowing things that you need to get done. It's kind of like a to-do list, but you can see what's most important and the things that need to be done, and then you can do them. And the key is to keep the things in the important but not urgent. So you have time, you're not procrastinating, and you're ahead of schedule. So use those 3 tools. Notion, this timer that I just showed you. You get it on Amazon. It's like $15. And then the Eisenhower Matrix. Now, let's cover mindset and belief, because we covered this a little bit in the beginning about the mistakes that people make or the challenges that they face. And your mindset and belief is everything. So if you don't believe that you're capable of achieving your goal, you're not going to. It doesn't matter how much work you do. It doesn't matter how early you wake up. If you don't truly believe that you can do it, then it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And if you keep telling yourself, I'm not able to achieve this, I'm not able to achieve this, even though you're putting in the work, you're eventually going to stop and give up. So you have to believe that is possible. So just answer this question right now. Do you believe that you can achieve your goal? If you truly believe it, good. If you don't, then maybe you need an easier goal. Maybe your goal is either not possible because maybe your time scale is off, your timeline is off, or maybe it's just you need to reevaluate how you want to achieve it. So think about that question and answer it. Now, one way to, if you don't believe that you can do it, but it is a goal that is achievable and people have done in the past, and you're not trying to fly into space with wings, then you need to change your mindset. And how do you change your mindset? Your input equals your output, which means you think the things that you input into your mind. So if you're watching TV all the time that is just, negative things, or, the news, or just things that aren't putting positivity and putting education into yourself or motivation into yourself, then you need to switch what you listen to. Watch some positive podcasts, watch some motivational, educational podcasts, things that you can actually learn from, and you can actually change your mind into thinking a certain way. So it's all in your mind. Everything is in your mind. Like running a marathon, super hard, but it's all mental. Like anyone could have run a marathon. You just need to train for it, and you need to believe that you can do it. And then when you're doing it, you need to not quit, because you know that at some point you're going to do it. You're going to finish. So change the input, you'll change the output, you'll change how you think. And that, I think, is the biggest thing that really people don't do. And the reason why people don't achieve what they want to achieve is because they're too busy, just looking for dopamine and not actually looking for ways to change their life. So, yeah, change your inputs. Definitely change your inputs. And the last thing we'll be going over is setting goals for personal or versus for business. So there's a saying, the business doesn't build the person builds the business. Which means if you're a level 5 person with level 5 knowledge, with level 5 discipline, with level 5 experiences, and a level 5 mindset, listening to level 5 TV, then you're not going to be able to build a level 10 business. So what you need to do is you need to change all those things. You need to read. You need to listen to educational things. Learn skills, right? And that's how you improve yourself. If you learn sales, if you learn copywriting, if you learn marketing, you learn persuasion, then you're going to have all this extra knowledge that are things that you can then use to build businesses and to just become more valuable as a person. So people get paid on value. There's this messed up thought that people think they get paid on the work that they do, right? So if you do hard work, then you're going to get paid more. People work at McDonald's, they work very hard. They work 12-hour days, 5-6 days a week. But the reason why they don't get paid a lot isn't because they don't work hard. It's because they don't have valuable skills. Someone could work not as hard, not nearly as hard, but they have skills that get paid a lot. Someone like that does copywriting or, high ticket sales. Those are skills that are valuable in business. So people are willing to pay more for them than just someone to flip burgers. Even though they work hard, they work 12-hour days, they're not getting paid the same. So if you want to get paid more, you have to learn more. And that's why there's another thought that people say, reading's a waste of time. You have to take action. Don't watch content. Don't consume content. It's actually incorrect, because you need to learn. You need to be more valuable as a person. You need to be an asset. And you can only do that by consuming books or consuming educational podcasts or educational, courses, by learning courses, learning skills. So you have to build yourself first. So there needs to be a balance between your personal goals and your business goals. You can't expect to, be a level 5 person and set level 10 goals. So improve your knowledge, improve your skills, improve your mindset, build good habits, and you will then be able to build a good business. But it all starts with you. You have to build yourself before you build your business. So I always recommend reading books and listening to educational podcasts. Learn copywriting, learn sales, watch good YouTube videos that teach you stuff. And that is all that we have for today. So, thank you all for watching. First link in the description. Go to the Discord community. I hope you guys are liking this podcast style. I like talking. I think it's really good to teach me how to talk, articulate myself, not use ums and uhs, even though I do sometimes, but I try not to. Like I just did. There you go. But yeah, it's really good. It's more for the skills that I'm learning. When I literally just talked about it. Learn skills, learn how to articulate yourself. Those are things that you get paid for. So this podcast, hopefully you find value out of it. But most importantly, it's great for learning skills of mine. And podcasts are also great for if any of you guys are building a personal brand or building a business, start a podcast. Because long form, if you get your customers or your prospects watching long form content that they could sit there and watch you for 20 minutes or an hour, then that's building a lot of trust between your prospect and you. So definitely start a podcast or long form video or blogging, some sort of long form content instead of just TikToks and shorts and Instagram pictures. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, be good.